Hi everybody! Today I would like to talk about payment practices. Of course, receiving payment for your translation is the most important part of your business, but it greatly varies according to the kind of client you work with and where you are located. Let's start with geographic location. Depending on where you are located, some payment practices may not be available to you or they may not be cost efficient. For example, your bank may charge too much to receive a wire transfer from abroad, which will most likely eat up your payment. The same is true about PayPal, which may take away a big chunk of the invoiced amount. The best thing you can do is check with your client which payment options they work with, and then calculate all the expenses you may have so there are no surprises down the road. Now, as far as the kind of clients you'll be working with, most agencies will be happy to receive a copy of your invoice by email, but some others may have a system in place and you have to log into their platform in order to generate payment. You must also check how many days they need between receiving your invoice and issuing payment, because of course you want to be paid as fast as you can, but most of them have already a system in place and only issue payment 30 days after receiving your invoice. Other agencies may work with 45 to 60-day payment terms, while some may push payment as far as 90 days after the invoice date. All these variables have to be figured out into your rate so you get adequate payment for your hard work. Now, the story is completely different when working with direct clients because you get to set some rules and you have more flexibility compared to when you're working with translation agencies. Now, keep in mind that direct clients may not be used to paying for translation services, so you have to hold their hand and explain the whole process so it's a win-win situation. If you're able to request advance payment, go ahead. If not, you can always request payment upon project delivery. Some other clients may feel more comfortable paying you within 7 to 15 days, which will help offset those other clients, the translation agencies, that want to pay you way past 30 days. Some clients may have a long-term project, so it's a good idea to ask for a deposit when you sign the service agreement and then divide the rest in installments so you can receive payment every week or once or twice a month until the project is completed. I actually use this method very often because I work with self-published authors and also translate a lot of educational and personal and professional documents for immigrants who come to work and study in the United States. So I ask for a deposit up front and then divide the rest into installments so they can pay me through weeks or months of work being done for them. Whenever possible, try to find services available to you that would allow you to receive full payment in advance and then have your clients pay them in installments. That means that your client's debt will be to this third-party service, not to you. And everybody wins in this situation because you're offering your client flexible paying terms and you don't have to wait to get paid. Finally, I just wanted to emphasize how difficult it is to track payment from individuals. It's different from a company that has a legal business address where you can always find someone who can answer for it. But an individual can simply vanish after they get what they needed from you. I learned it the hard way when dealing with a Brazilian client living in Florida. The one time I made an exception in 20 years to be paid within 30 days by an individual, she just took the translation and ran away with it. I usually ask individuals to pay 50% in advance and then divide the rest in 2 or 3 installments, but always demand that the last payment be made upon delivery. This one time, after talking to the client on the phone, I agreed to receive 50% advance and then the rest 30 days after delivery. She needed her documents for a job interview, and I really wanted to help her get that job. So I sent her the translation and waited for payment 30 days later. After sending out several reminders, I found out that she actually personally knew a lot of translators in Florida. But she never intended to pay for a professional translation, so she didn't hire any of them. A colleague of mine, who who is a translator herself and also hired my services a few times, actually knew this person and contacted her on my behalf to see what was going on. I was able to get half of what she owed me, which means that she paid 75% of the invoice amount, but I had to send a collection agency to get the last 25%. Long story short, she has a very bad credit now and a bad name among creditors. Well, don't learn it the hard way like I did, and always ask for advance payment from individuals because you might end up getting burned at the end. In these situations, it always pays to be a business person first and a sympathetic human being second.